the two different ways that we can name this using a single element is either the number inside or the vertex, since there's no other possible angles that have that same vertex. So those would be two possibilities. No, is there another way that we can name that? So we can go JKL, and we can even reverse that, LKJ. So these would be the different ways that you can name this particular angle. So if we're looking to find an example of two or a pair of adjacent and acute angles, as long as they're less than 90 degrees and they meet all four of those conditions of acute angles, you have your set. Easy way to sketch that, if you just draw an angle that is acute by itself, and then you split that angle into two parts. They don't have to be equal parts, they just need to be split. You have your instance. So here, angles 1 and 2. Are adjacent angles, and they are each acute, since the sum of them together is acute as well. And then in the sample B, sketch an example of an obtuse angle that intersects a right angle at 2 points. Okay, so if we start with a right angle, and again, anytime you're sketching it, you can use symbols to represent what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So the little squared off corner shows us that we're dealing with a right angle. And now we want an obtuse angle that intersects this at 2 points. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. Okay, one, you could have it intersect in this fashion. Okay, so here's an example of an obtuse angle intersecting. And we could also have sketched it intersecting the same side. Okay, either of those is fine. And you can have it face up the different directions as well, but you do want it to make sure that if you extend it, that it wouldn't intersect it a third time. So if I did something like this, oops, if I used, so again, this would be an acceptable form as well. However, if I tried to do an angle that looked like this, does this green angle intersect the right angle at 2 places? 2 that you see, but what do you know about this? Or when you look at the sides of an angle, and remember the sides of an angle are rays, so theoretically they extend infinitely. So what would happen if I extended this side? Is it going to hit it a third time? So now this no longer fits the conditions here intersecting at 2 points. And so just be really careful when you're doing that it fits the conditions, even if you include like an extension that's represented by the figures or the elements themselves.